My first assignment dealt with the problem that some children from my class were just not reading at home. There were many possible reasons, e.g. parents not modelling reading, not having a selection of books, and the parents not facilitating the reading. However, through questioning some children, these were found not to be correct. It was that they found reading boring and would prefer to play with their friends or with the Xbox. The second assignment moved on to how I could rectify the problem of making reading at home more exciting. Firstly, I discussed whether it was actually important for children to read at home, and it was shown that it was. For instance, Gurian et al. 2014 found that there is a link between the amount the child reads at home and the improvement in their reading scores. However, the parent collaboration was an important factor, e.g. Dr. Alton Jones 2015 stated that when a parent collaborates with the child at home, then the child will dramatically improve. I then looked at the different technologies that could possibly be used at home to aid the reading. Firstly, there was Kindle, which was discussed as great for a variety of books as the children can choose their genre. However, it is too expensive for my school children. Secondly, there were readable books, which are great to hear relatives' voices, but they are expensive. Finally, there was BookTrack, but unfortunately the child reads another person's story who may not be familiar to them. None of these technologies uses the collaboration from before. This led me to blogging. Stublink 2014, writing in the Edutopia website, stated that there has been a huge increase in the love of reading in his high school class due to blogging. They state that the children don't have to write about their readings in a way governed by the teacher, but in their own style. It is this freedom to write in their own voice that is important. Therefore, the conclusion was that I should use KidBlog, as it gives the children the opportunity to read a variety of genres and it applies a collaborative approach to learning.
In DCL2, I explored enhancing literacy in my Year 2 classroom by using a simple platform for the children to create and share written presentations, stories, and interact with others. It's well documented that having a meaningful purpose to write inspires children to write, and a meaningful purpose is an audience. Dancing with a Pen, 1995. Much writing we do at school is done in books, and therefore it limits the audience that can access the book and share the writing. By taking away the pencil and the book and using the keyboard and a computer, greater success could be achieved from those with poor handwriting when typing, when publishing work. Using a keyboard takes time, even with those reluctant writers. Chen et al. 2011 highlights this point. But at least the written product is legible and can be shared with others and interacted with. And it's one draft, one product. By examining Samar, the fashionable current educational model developed by Ruben Puente-Dora that is used as a base for framework when technology impacts pedagogy, we can think about reading. If we look at substituting reading books, we could use a Kindle to read on. If we look at augmentation, we could look at using BookTrack, having a book but with a soundtrack. If we look at modifying the task, we could use a platform such as ReadingX to read on. But we've used Samar to redefine reading. We've thought about it. And we're using blogging because blogging is something that you can read and also something that you can write. And the two of them go hand in hand together. Dancing with a Pen, 1995.
When exploring the Lean Canvas, we firstly have purpose. This is to motivate the children to use KidBlog at home. Why does blogging do this? McGrail and Davis 2011 suggest that by changing the audience from that of the teachers to a broader audience offered by blogging, the writers are more likely to shape, revise and edit their work. Chen et al. 2011 have researched further that blogging increases the amount of rich and meaningful content and that peer feedback enhances the writing quality. Dr. Patricia Fiorello in Kids Learn to Blog advocates blogs to engage children as they are technically savvy. She notes that blogs improve writing skills not only in retail or forming stories, but also in forming arguments alongside forming writing skills. She goes further to say kids' creativity can improve as they write on topics important to them. Children increase their communication skills and can become global citizens when blogs are shared.
Our problem is that children aren't reading at home because they find books boring and prefer to play with their friends. However, it's a little bit deeper than that. children are reluctant to engage in any literacy, reading or writing in free time. There are many other activities that children like to do, especially interacting with others, and this is something we use in our solution. Reading and writing aren't one of the things children like to do. However, we all know that literacy changes lives. Dugdale and Clark, 2008. It improves health outcomes, it supports educational aspirations and outcomes, it leads to greater confidence, not to mention employment opportunities, and gives room for promotion once you have those employment opportunities. Furthermore, it increases engagement in civic and cultural aspects of being a member of society. Our solution capitalises on the fact that children love to interact, as do adults. By setting up a blog platform that's easy for a teacher to administrate, such as KidBlog, the children can access and engage with other children through reading and writing. This is at home, as well as, we hope, at school. Free time may be defined as literacy time when children blog. Farello and Kids Learn to Blog suggests that a blog platform support any written genre, spurring children to refine skills of communication, especially persuasion. She goes on to note that when children are given a choice about what they write about, they're more enthused to write.
When looking at any existing alternatives, we are drawn to social networking sites, and especially Facebook, as the children are commenting on their friends' writings and musings. So our question is, does using Facebook help with reading and writing? Well, the Daily Mail 2013 stated that Facebook and Twitter does harm pupils' literacy, as they are distracted by the sites and therefore aren't reading books. They also state there has been a deterioration in grammar and spelling due to the sites. However, Alberta Teachers Association stated that pupils' writing improves because they have a greater confidence to write on Facebook. They are also writing on something that they are interested in, not Shakespeare. However, Facebook is more of a social interaction, and so will be more of a chit-chat convention, whereas blogging has more intent and purpose. For example, it is a richer text. Key metrics. How to measure the success of the KidBlog is very difficult. We could just use the pre-Kids blog and post-Kids blog probe and EASTL scores. However, this doesn't eliminate our natural improvement due to our teaching. However, as our focus is to improve the motivation, then this is easier to deal with, as EASTL has a reading and writing aptitude test. This clearly asks the children whether they like reading at home, amongst other questions. The children can be tested before the Kids blog is implemented and after the trial. We can then compare the two aptitude tests across the class to ascertain if there has been an improvement in motivation.
Unique value proposition. By redefining the literacy practices of reading and writing using the SAMAR framework, we can see that KidBlog is unique in that it allows kids to engage with other kids commenting on their schoolmates' work. It's a platform that can be accessed from home and from school. That in itself is quite unique as opposed to books. However, some of the students may not be able to access the internet from home, and that's a little bit of a problem. There's lots of data available on smartphones, one of the reasons why we chose KidBlog, and also we could make devices available before and after school for children to engage with others. Therefore, we're still increasing their literacy practices in their own time. Channels. How will we reach our students in a scalable way? Well, first of all, we're capitalising on kids' love of motivation, completing tasks using the internet and devices. Most children have access to these devices at home, and these devices also include phones. KidBlog is a platform that can be accessed from a phone and is very, very easy to use if you've got an iDevice, as there is an app built in that simplifies the whole process. By examining Derek Siever's 2010 How to Start a Movement, we can see that it's not only a leader that's essential, it's also its followers, and they need to be recognised and encouraged. As a teacher, we can provide opportunities in the class for students to actually engage in the KidBlog platform. Therefore, they'll talk to one another, and hopefully the infectious nature of interacting with each other through the platform will spread and the movement will start. Its own channel is formed through social interaction. By allowing this classroom time, it also will mean that children that don't have access to the internet at home can access the internet and engage in KidBlog before or after school. All we need to do is make available the devices and the Wi-Fi connection. Customers. Who do we need to make this innovation work? We need the students, because the children need to be writing the stories for others to be reading it, and then they need to comment. Chen et al. 2011 and Fiorello in Kids Learn to Blog both highlight the importance of children commenting on other children's work, increasing and improving their quality of writing and their motivation to write and to read.
Early adopters. To make this work, we need to start a movement and to enthuse the early adopters. In this case, the early adopters will be those who already excel at reading and writing. This is because they know that their feedback will be generally complimentary. Also, there will be the children with a good personal efficacy, who are able to handle the thoughts and feelings of others as they realise that it isn't a personal slander, just there to help them make their work better. The other early adopters will be the children who already use social media, as they will have already found success. Unfortunately, some of the children who will be the last to use the blog will be the children who haven't got internet access. Wicked claimed that when the principals of schools were asked, they believed that only 15% of students in decile 1 to 3 schools had access compared to 85% in the deciles 7 to 10.
That brings us to resources. Clearly, if you teach in a lower decile school or even a high decile school, making computers and devices available before and after school and during breaks are essential for the children to access Kids Blog. However, when you look at such clusters as the Malaya Kalani cluster that has brought Wi-Fi to the community at a reasonable cost, you can see that by jumping on this initiative or by spreading this initiative that we can make internet accessible to all. We need to use Kids Blog. That's relatively inexpensive and cheap. You can upgrade it for less than $4 a month. Tutorial videos that are linked through a QR code could also be useful for children to revisit to learn how to use the Kids Blog. And we could also have planning notebooks for writing blogs that children can carry with them and note down ideas.
Impact. Children are inspired to write when it has purpose. The audience are inspired to read and provide feedback. Why? Well, real-world interactions are enjoyable and provide immediate, interesting activities which motivate the learner to read. Brophy 98. Teachers believe that reading motivation can be increased when texts and books are connected to learning events. Guthrie 97. This shows that when there is a purpose to their writing, then they will be more motivated to read and write. Edutopia say that the beauty of having students write for an actual audience is that they have really to think about purpose, organisation and word choice. They aren't just doing it for a mark or because they have to. Once teachers transform traditional writing tasks into real-life ones that include audience, they will see the have-tos turn into a desire to get it done, make it good and generate excitement of getting a response from the leader or readers. The bonus of Kid Blog is that the children love to read others' work. For instance, we made a book of children's stories and it was so popular that we have to use a rota for each child to read it. When interviewed, one child said she likes others to read her work because they pass nice comments, like the way one child said to her, "I like the way the character fell off the horse." Chen et al. Notes blogging enhances this aspect of self-worth when sharing writing.
The sustainability of Kids Blog is further enhanced by having reward systems and sticker charts and strings that motivators work well to encourage teaching practices. As teachers, we can incorporate Kids Blog into our reading and writing tumbles and homework sheets. By upgrading our Kids Blog membership to the paid version, $4 a month, we can then transfer blogs to the teachers of the following year, enabling the children to follow and to engage in Kids Blog for years to come.
So to summarise, the children are embarking on the Kid Blog as it has been shown that a great motivator to read is collaboration, purpose and audience, and the feeling that they are part of a caring community. As Wenzel 97 said, students' intrinsic motivator for reading and learning is closely connected to their feelings of social support in the classroom. Many higher education courses report an increase in student engagement and sense of community through blogging and reading other students' blogs. Morgan et al. 2012. Moreover, not only is using technology engaging and motivating for children, but using it when it delivers a feel-good factor enhances its likelihood for further engagement. The ideal way to gain mileage in reading and writing.